everyone, this is Michelle from GCE Education Hub. Today we'll be going through formulas and equations required for coordinate geometry. So let's go! Students generally memorize the formulas and equations without really understanding how it works. So I'm going to explain why is it like that. So the first formula we are looking at will be the distance formula. With a picture diagram, alright, we're going to use the diagram to explain the formula. So given the point A, which is x1, y1, and B, which is x2, y2. Alright, so I'm just going to randomly plot 2 points on the xy axis. So my A can be here, which is x1, y1, and B can be somewhere around here, which is x2, y2. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to connect the 2 points together. So what I'm finding actually is the distance between this point A and B. So how does this formula work? It's actually really built on the idea of Pythagoras theorem. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw a right angle triangle. Right. Notice that this distance here is actually y1 minus y2. And respectively, the distance here is actually x1 minus x2. So if you recall, in a right angle triangle, if we were to apply Pythagoras theorem, c squared is actually equal to a squared plus b squared. So using the same formula here, can you see that ab squared is actually x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. And by taking square root on both sides, we will actually get the equation or the formula of the distance. So this is actually how the distance formula was derived. Okay, so next we're going to look at the midpoint formula. Alright, so it's the same as the previous part where we have the 2 points A and B respectively. So what does midpoint formula do is it gives you the middle or the center of A and B. So we're going to connect these 2 points again. Alright. So you can see that half of AB will be somewhere around here. So what you're going to do is actually what we're going to do is actually find the coordinate of this point. So actually you can think of midpoint as like the average. So to find the x coordinate of this midpoint is essentially x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So you're just going to take these 2 points and add up and divide it by 2. Likewise for y, you're just going to add y1 plus y2 and divide it by 2. So this gives you kind of like the average of the 2 points, which is also the midpoint. Alright, and next we have the gradient formula. So I think most of the students remember this as rise over the run. So recall that rise is always the y value because you are going up, and run is always the x values because you are going across horizontally. So same thing, okay, we have the 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2. So we can draw a triangle. So notice that the rise here is actually y1 minus y2. Okay, and the run here we have is x1 minus x2. You can see that actually it's roughly the same as the formula, but the sign is a bit different. So take note that you can actually do y1 minus y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, because eventually the sign will actually cancel off each other. But just take note that when you're using this formula, alright, if this is y1 first, and then the bottom one must be x1 first. Likewise for the top, if it is y2 first, then you have to take x2 first. So don't get confused if it is x over y or y over x, because if you remember that the rise is always the y value and the run is always the x value. Always take the change in the y values divided by the change in the x value. Alright. And lastly, we have the general equation of a straight line, which is y equal to mx plus c. So what does m represent? So m represents the gradient of the line. So it can be positive or it can be negative. So if it's a positive gradient, it should slope upwards this way, and if it's negative, it should slope downwards this way. So take note that when you're looking at the gradient, okay, your eye view is always from the left side. So from this way, you can see that it's going up. Alright, and if you're looking this way, you can see that it is going down. So, this is how the formula and equation works. If you find the content we are sharing useful, remember to like and subscribe. See you soon. Goodbye.